The Joint National Executive Council of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has suspended the indefinite nationwide strike which entered the second day on Wednesday. The decision was reached at a meeting on Wednesday that deliberated on the outcome of an earlier interface with the federal government led by the National Security Advisor Niru Ribadu. Organized Labour said it did so after it received the commitment from Ribadu-led meeting that those arrested for the physical assault of NLC President Joe Ajaero would be prosecuted. The NSA promised to bring both parties back to the table to iron out all issues in dispute and tendering an all-reserve apology on behalf of the federal government for the brutalization of Ajaero and other members of the Congress. The meeting, which was held at the office of the NLSA with the TUC President Festus Stifo and the NLC General Secretary Emmanuel Ugbaja, the Minister of Labour and Employment Simon Lalong, among others in attendance. At the end of the meeting, which was held behind closed doors, both the Labour Minister and the TUC President said they had robust the conversation of the issues at stake. If you recall, the NLC and the TUC began their indefinite nationwide strike on Tuesday, with affiliate union joining the industrial action, and it continued into Wednesday, prompting appeals and intervention by the National Security Advisor, who met with Labour leader in Abuja and the Senate, among other individuals and organizations. With the end of the strike action comes great relief to Nigerians who seem to always be at the receiving end. But the big question and the big story for today is, why should ordinary Nigerians always suffer on account of disagreement between government and Labour, and should other means of conflict resolution between Labour and government not be sought out for rather than strike? Well, look at this and more is what this edition of the big story is all about. And we're talking about incessant strike action, its impact on Nigerians. And that's what we're having as a major discourse today on the big story. And we're talking about the issue of strike actions and what impact it has on Nigerians. And to truly help us talk about this, I have two guests, one in the studio. I'm talking of no other person but Barrister Godwin Ojigba. Good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning and thank you for having me once more.
And also joining us via Zoom, or we'll definitely get him through phone rather, we have no other person but Mr. Wilfred Okologume. He's the present chairperson of ASU at the Petrol Institute right here, FUPRI rather, in Delta State. Good morning and welcome to the show. Hello, Dr. Wilfred. Okay, we'll see how we can really bring him to be a part of the discussion, and when we get clarity as it concerns that very connection, we'll definitely bring him. Okay, well, I'm getting information that we do have him on board now. Hello, can you hear me? Hello? Okay, we'll just try and see how we can really correct that and bring him to it. Now, but before we go into the issues, let me start with you, Barrister Godwin Ojigba. Now, before we go into the issues of the impact... Dr. Wilfred, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning and welcome to it. And I know you are the chairperson of ASU at FUPRI. Welcome to it, and nice having you on the show with us.
Yeah, nice hearing from you too. Happy to be on the call.
Okay. Well, anyway, before we go into the issue of what impact, I rather want to start with you, Engineer Dr. Wilfred Okologume. Before we go into the impact this constant strike seems to have on Nigerians, I want us to first look at the build-up and what even necessitated or led to this strike action. And it's all about the beating and handling of the NLC President Joe Ajaero in Imo State 2 weeks ago, which kicked off a series of events that culminated into the nationwide strike by organized labor. Now, most Nigerians might not know this, and that they might be hearing this for the first time, that this is not the first time the NLC President and Imo State government will be having a running battle. The first was a dispute about workers' preference in the election of the chairman of the NLC in the Imo State Council, which even after the election, the person that was elected was nullified and the caretaker was appointed. And now this happened just 10 days before his state governorship election. So the question still remains, was it indeed not right that the NLC president should rather go to Imo just 10 days before the election? Don't you feel he was meddling in political issues as being stated by no other person but his former predecessor years ago, Comrade Adams Oshomole? He said that yesterday, that he felt the NLC president was meddling into political issues. Or do you feel or really have a strong reservation and you feel the NLC president has every right to be in Imo State even before or very close to the elections?
Well, that's quite tricky in as much as the former NLC president, now Senator Comrade Adams Oshomole, is entitled to his view and expression. He might be correct from his own school of thought, but some of us might not want to completely agree. Because the truth is this: when we allow politicians to link up every agitation and complaint by the workers to their political dictates, we always get it wrong. Why do I say that? If you are a part of the struggle, if you are a part of masses, you ask yourself, let's just be fair, when do you think will be the best time for a government to address the issues of workers that have been lingering for years? Of course, if you want to agitate and you see that government going into the election, I think any reasonable government, to me, that would have been the best time to sort out all issues. That aside, the NSC president, yes, just unfortunate by coincidence, is from Imo State. But the issue is this: were there issues in Imo State that have been lingering for long that requires the attention of the NSC president, irrespective of the fact that he's from Imo State? The answer is yes. Now, how we come to Imo State? What initiated the violent attack on him? Was it done by the NSC president? Of course, no. Because in a civilized society, what would have been required would have been a formal interaction. The NSC president visited the NSC office in Imo State. He was attacked there. The issue, what we should see here as Nigeria today, is high time we see and value our citizens, irrespective of the fact that they hold one position or not. The life of every citizen, what if he was murdered? What would have been the debate? The point now is this: the way NSC, the organized labor, is in the attack, it's not on the individual. The NSC president, Joe Ajero, is Joe Ajero. Ajero was not there as Joe Ajero. He was there as NSC president to listen and further look at reasons to resolve the challenges and the complaints from workers in Imo State. So for organized labor, it is the NSC president that was brutalized, not Joe Ajero. And who is the NSC president? The leader of organized labor. It's like you have said the president of Nigeria was attacked somewhere. Then Nigeria should keep quiet because he went there uninvited, in quotes. No! The institution of labor is what is for attack. And the truth is this is just one person. Do you know how many citizens of Nigeria have been brutalized without any iota of response from government? We're all aware of what happened in the extra. Sorry to digress. I was swept under the carpet. And we don't want that for labor union leaders. We don't want that for every Nigerian citizen. And yes, I'm happy the fact that the NSC was able to see from that perspective and intervene. Because it's beyond the person of Joe Ajero. It's beyond the person of Joe Ajero. What led to it? The issues of non-payment of worker salary, the issues of non-payment of pensioners' wages, the issues of a layoff of workers in the name of ghost workers. Those issues are still lingering. So
you feel the timing is not the problem, but rather the issues and the attack is the problem, because that's where Imo State government seems to also drag their feet. That the timing of that very protest was unnecessary, knowing that it was close to the elections.
The point I'm trying to raise here now, let us assume that the present government in Imo State was not going for that election.
Okay.
But they were going for normal transition.
Okay.
The question I asked first, before responding to your what would have been the best time to close that pending issues that have to do with workhouse welfare?
Okay.
To me, it would have been the best time for any reasonable government to close that issue is when you are going through electoral processes.
Okay.
What initiated the violence? Was it back from the organized labor? No. That's the point. You know, the energy president go to Imo State to raise placard and say, come and fight. No. He went there to resolve issues and he was attacking his domain. It's like you go to a man's house to go and beat him up. And you say the man is the one. No. If the NDC president was in government house and he was beating the fact that he took violence there.
Okay.
But he was in labor. He was attacking labor.
Okay.
By who? Who not?
Okay, well, thank you, Engineer Dr. Wilfred Okologume. You seem to have really enlightened us on that very reason. Your union, as other unions attached to the NLC, went on strike. But let me quickly come to you, Barrister Godwin Ojigba, and still throw you a similar question, because we were all dragged into this on account of the brutalization and attack on Joe Ajero in Imo State on November the 1st. But everybody will still look at the issue of timing, because like he said, what better time to go there rather than close to an election? But do you fault the timing of him going there? Because that's even what Senator Adams Oshomole even stated yesterday. He feels like, well, yes, issues might be there. The timing was wrong to also present that, because it will look as if you were now having a political motivated ground in pushing for that, knowing that also the Labour Party was a part of the elections. So do you agree with the fact that the timing was wrong, as been stated by Adams Oshomole yesterday?
I don't agree with him.
Okay.
I completely agree with the position held by my brother who just finished talking now. Okay. That the timing was right. What better time would you have had to go on the protest? What they went for was an ordinary protest. Protest in the sense that they were not carrying arms. Okay. They were not going to carry anything. Maybe placards. Okay. And showing that the government is insensitive. That alone couldn't have meant anything at all. Okay. So there is no better time than the time that the thing came up. Adam Oshomole had also forgotten that in his time, during the Obasanjo era, he caused several strikes, demonstrations, and all of that. Some of them were even more closer to election in 2023. Nothing happened to him.
Okay. Let me return to you, Engineer Engineer Dr. Wilfred Okologume. I guess you're still there.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay, now, yes, we've now stated that fact that, well, irrespective of the timing seems to be right for him to go there. But let's look at other issues. We also do understand and also would agree that the perpetrators of that attack have already been arrested, as stated by the National Security Advisor, Nehru Rubadu, when he gave us that clarity yesterday. And not only that, one of the initial demands of the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress was the immediate posting away from Imo State of the Commissioner of Police that was in Imo State when that happened. Now we're talking about Commissioner C.P. Badi. But my question is, that was also being done, but yet the union still went on a strike. And irrespective, at the end of it, it was sitting down on the table to resolve issues that...
Hello, you're off. I can't hear you.
Well, can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
So my question is, undermining all of this happened, the initial stand of the NLC was the arrest and persecution of all those that perpetrated the attack, which the National Security Advisor said yesterday they've been arrested and will be persecuted. And not only that, also we learned that the Commissioner of Police in Imo State, we're talking of no other person but CP, the CP there himself was also being transferred by the hierarchy of the police. But my question is, it at the end of it was all sitting down of all the parties yesterday at the instance of the National Security Advisor, Nehru Rubadu, that ended that war. So should more subtle approach not be employed by organized labor rather than strike? Because as of last count, we've had about close to 7 strikes alone this year, done by organized labor, and Nigerians are always at the receiving end and they seem to be wary. So is it not right that organized labor should always seek for other means rather than putting all of us into the problem, because we were neither there when Joe Ajaero was beaten, but Nigerians are all at the receiving end of this. So should better and subtle approach not be taken rather than strike action? 7, the last count alone this year that Nigerian Labour Congress have gone on. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Thank you for that question. But the truth here is this. I will try not to play around the bush. We just need to get the perspective right.
Yes.
Before Labour went on this strike, there was a demand that was put before government. 7 days ultimatum for this same demand, this issue that have been resolved. 7 days elapsed. Nothing happened. What the government do was to run to court and take an injunction instead of addressing.
But they also transferred the Commissioner of Police in Imo State.
That was one out of the several demands. When the person is arrested, no. Was there a clear condemnation of what transferred in Imo State by government? No. No. Labour extended, gave another 7 days. Nothing happened. Now let's take this beyond Joe Ajaero.
Okay.
It's high time we value the life of our citizens. Let's take this. I said something have an issue. What if it was murder? What would have been the action? Let us put our place as citizens in the place of Joe Ajaero. If you were in his position, you know how many Nigerians have been brutalized like this and nobody to speak for them. Like you said, more subtle approach would have yielded the result, but did we yield the result? Not until there was a strike. The strike was unnecessary, I agree with that. But government should be sensitive to the plight of workers and also the plight of citizens. Don't allow citizens to go to the extreme before you take action. That's why initially I said I commend the fact that the NSA in its wisdom was able to intervene, seeing the implications and made the announcement that these people have been arrested and they will face persecution. But what happened the first 7 days, the second 7 days? What happened about those actions? You see the point. For me as a person, I'm not saying this just because of the NSC president or because I'm a union president. I'm looking at it from the ordinary Nigerian who face similar things day in, day out. Nobody to speak for them. And the thing will just be swept under the carpet. That's how we should see it. I think, give you an example. See the war in Israel and in Gaza.
Yeah.
You see the way Israel is going, the way the international community, some places are saying Israel should slow it down. But for the Israeli government, because they value the life of their citizens, the own desired provocation by Hamas, it's what they are reacting to. So it's just like the American government, a life of a citizen of America in a foreign land that is under threat. The American government can spend in 30 soldiers can lose their life just for the life of that citizen that is under a threat somewhere. So that's how I feel we should value this. That is how I feel we should relate this. And government, I want to appeal to our ruling class. We should not allow our citizens to go to the extreme. This is just like the end SARS. There were a lot of complaints about the actions of SARS then, but government allowed it to lead to protests. At the end of the day, what happened? The citizens, what I complained against was used against them. And that's not how we should be going as a nation. That's not how I think we should be going as a nation. We should slow things down and the ruling class should be sensitive.
Okay, Engineer Dr. Wilfred Okonugume, I will plead also for us to slow things down. Because we need to go on the break now. And also, Barrister Godwin Ojegba, because I really want to come to you back when we resume and talk more about this. But we need to really go on the break now. And when we come back, more discussion centered on the big story for today.